BTS News Today. Seoul, May 7th, 2025. The Korean entertainment world is once again rocked by an unexpected confession. Shi Hyuk, founder of HYBE Corporation and the man behind BTS' global success, finally opened the voice of the two members who have always been the center of attention and discussion of the ARMY, Park Jimin and Jimin Jungkook. In an exclusive interview aired globally, the man known by the call Bang PD reveals the profound and shocking truth about relationships, the struggle, and the two artists' profound influence on BTS' future journey and direction. This interview took place in an intimate but meaningful setting. Shi Hyuk appears to be sitting inside his old studio, the place where BTS' early songs were created. The calm but emotional look in his eyes is a sign that what he is going to say is not ordinary. This is not just a story about the hard work of two world stars, but the emotional story that has been hidden deep behind the camera spotlight, magnificent concert, and outstanding performance. This is a story about sacrifice, love for music, inner conflict, and sincerity that touched millions of hearts. Shi Hyuk started with a slow but steady tone. He stared at the camera and sighed for a moment, as if gathering the strength to speak. "I've been holding this for too long," he said. "The ARMY deserves to know. The world needs to know what really happened behind the scenes between Jimin and Jungkook. They are not only two artists with incredible talent, but also human beings with such deep hearts, who continue to grow and fight together even though the world does not always see it." What happened next was something that left the entire ARMY around the world speechless. Even before the interview is over, hashtags like #BangPD reveal, #Jimin Jungkook truth, and #ARMY needs to know are trending topics on various social media. Shi Hyuk tells how he first noticed the dynamic between Jimin and Jungkook, even from their trainee days. Jimin came later, but his presence is like a flame that burns the fire of passion in the group. Jungkook was young, still very shy, but he's interested in the way Jimin works, in the way Jimin expresses himself, he said. "What many people don't know is that behind every choreography you see is perfect. Behind every grand stage you celebrate, there were many silent quarrels, restrained tears, and moments where they almost give up." Bang PD paused for a moment, then continued in a heavier voice. "Their relationship was not always easy. There is pressure from the outside, expectations from management, and pressure from oneself. But that's exactly where the magic is. Both become mirrors of each other. Jimin is Jungkook's invisible protector, while Jungkook secretly makes Jimin the center of his emotions." This statement surprised many fans, especially when Shi Hyuk starts talking about certain nights that he calls a turning point in their relationship. "I remember one night, after their big concert in Tokyo. The studio was quiet, but I heard someone crying. When I came in, I saw Jimin sitting on the floor, holding the phone with tears that endlessly fall. Jungkook stood in the corner, holding back, his eyes red. They just had a big fight. But in that moment, I saw something more than friendship or cooperation. I see two souls who depend on each other to survive." Shi Hyuk even admitted that behind many of HYBE's creative decisions in vocal line placement, selection of duets, up to the determination of lyrics, there are emotional considerations based on their bond. When they sing together, especially in more personal songs, there is an inexplicable resonance. It's not just a matter of matching sounds. It's about the stories they share. The shocking truth that left many ARMY speechless was Bang PD's confession about the time when Jungkook almost left the dorm without a word. It was a dark time. Jungkook is still very young, and the burden of being the golden magnate is already too heavy. But what kept him going? Not me. Not the schedule. Not even his career. That's Jimin. Jimin knocked on the door at night. Jimin wrote a short letter and tucked it under his pillow. Jimin, who always hugged her silently when the camera was off. Suddenly, this recognition shook the global ARMY community. Much has been speculated about their closeness, about the unique dynamics that appear on the stage. I can't believe that all of this has such deep roots. More than chemistry, more than fan service. This is a true story of two human beings who grew up together under tremendous pressure, but still take care of each other when no one else can understand their feelings. Shi Hyuk then revealed that there was an idea to form a permanent subunit of Jimin and Jungkook in 2019. "We saw tremendous potential, and they agreed. But the main reason the plan never materialized was because they themselves felt that they were not ready to show their most honest side to the world." Bang PD's face looked sad when he delivered this part. They are afraid, not on the music, but on the likelihood that their honesty will be misunderstood. The world is not necessarily ready to accept how two big stars can love each other in their own way, without having to define that relationship with hasty labels. At this moment, the atmosphere of the interview becomes very emotional. The camera had recorded the seconds when Shi Hyuk was silent, his eyes reddened. He wiped the corners of his eyes with a tissue and continued, "I love them as an artist. But more than that, I respect them as human beings. Jimin and Jungkook have gone through things that not everyone can imagine, but they still take care of each other." Armies from around the world began flooding social media with heartfelt greetings and thanks to Shi Hyuk for his honesty. Many confessed that they always felt there was something deeper between Jimin and Jungkook, but I never expected to get confirmation. Shi Hyuk slowly lowered his voice, as if entering the most fragile part of his long memories with Jimin and Jungkook. He leaned his back against the chair, staring blankly at the ceiling of that memorable studio, then said, "There was a time when BTS almost collapsed. This is not an easy thing for me to admit, but fatigue, pressure from the industry, and the difference in direction of view had time to break them in silence. And it was then Jimin stood at the forefront, not as the main vocalist, not as an idol, but as a human being who is ready to lose everything for the sake of the people he believes." It was 2020 when the pandemic destroyed all the big plans of the entertainment world. Concerts canceled, interaction with fans restricted, and mental stress began to creep into the cracks of BTS members' fatigue. Jungkook was exhausted. "She doesn't complain, doesn't show her sadness in front of the camera, but I know," Shi Hyuk said. He started to lose his spirit, started to question everything he was doing from the age of 13. But what kept him from falling deeper was Jimin. Bang PD then tells of a night where there was a heated internal discussion in their dorm. Some BTS members began to show differences of opinion about the direction of music, corporate pressure, and future plans. Jungkook, the youngest, chose silent. He sat in the corner of the room, hugging his knees, down without saying anything. He doesn't want to be a burden. He thought it might be better if he just backed off, say Bang PD in a quiet voice. But Jimin rose from his seat, looked at everyone, and in a trembling voice, he said, "If Jungkook leaves, so will I." The room that had been filled with sounds began to fall silent. No one expected that Jimin would say something like that, with a firmness that never appeared before. He is known as a gentle, understanding figure, which rarely interrupts or resists. But that night, it became a fortress for Jungkook. "I can't remember what Jimin said that night." Shi Hyuk continued, "I saw him grow. I saw him fall and get up. Do not ask him to endure everything alone." And Jungkook, who had only been holding back his tears, ended up crying. Not because it was weak, but because someone finally really stood up for him. The relationship of the two is not a relationship created for content. What happens between them is something that grows slowly, through wounds, through silent hugs, through sleepless nights as they encourage each other with simple words. They are witnesses to each other's growth, not just professionally, but as humans who learn to know the world through togetherness. Shi Hyuk then enters into another round that makes armies around the world flinch again, the time leading up to conscription. The year 2023 becomes a critical point, when one by one the members begin to fulfill their obligations as Korean citizens. Jungkook, who looks more mature than his age, decides to enter after some of his young. Yet he doubted, not for fear of military training, but because of her fear of leaving the stage and the people she loved.
He found a way to go and change, become an advocate for taking control of your life, go out and battle, and you think you have a dream, then act on it.